Welcome to You Know Something with Dena
Hey, look, I'm just here to entertain, inform, and keep this crazy train on track.
and Tia.
Me, I'm like your live wire that is liable to go shalom.
They're like your cool aunts.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
Fun.
I can't believe you even brought that up. That is so fun.
Informative.
It's impossible to dust ovaries.
You can't.
Sometimes serious.
Dena, sweet child. I am almost stunned. I mean, I'm being really serious.
But most of the time, not so much.
A caca. I mean, your caca and your caca. No. I'm sorry.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Ladies,
Hello, welcome to You Know Something with Dena and Tia. I'm Dena.
And I'm Tia.
Hello, Miss Tia.
Howdy. How are you?
I'm okay. I was rough for about 10 days. I think I had your same cold virus crud. I don't mean you gave it to me because it was too far apart, but I think it was the same strain where it just knocks you on your butt.
Okay, so you cheated and went on a cruise and didn't tell me. You had cruise
Crud.
crud and didn't even let me know.
No, actually I got
That's
cruise
sad.
crud without the cruise part. So.
Wow.
But I feel better than I sound. So we took a little break. We didn't have a You Know Something or a Giggles and Gratitude this past week and the week before because I was sick. You did a little Giggles and Gratitude on your own. I really appreciate that. But we're back in the swing of things.
Yippee.
And we will talk on this week's Giggles and Gratitude, where we talk about our week and our feelings and things we've been through, about what was going on during that week we took off, because it was, it was a sad time. We're trying to bring happiness today, bring light back for you guys. But, life happens.
Life happens.
And you
It
have,
exactly does.
yeah, sometimes you just have to stop. We try to power through. We powered through things in the past without really talking about it, but this one was just too much, and we didn't take a little time back, and I know you were probably very busy during that time. But again, we'll talk about that on Sunday, and I'm sure you'll have some things to say about that. I don't know. You can share what you want to share. Okay. So today, Tia, this is our learning time. We learn on Wednesdays together.
Cannot wait to learn.
It's your favorite. It's Tia's favorite. So Tia never knows what topic
Nope.
we're going to talk about if you're new to our show, which makes it doubly fun for me because I do know and I have notes in front of me. She does not.
I might get nervous.
Okay, today, Tia, we're going to learn about, it's a serious subject, but I think we can, talk about it in our way, learn about it together, and be helpful to people. Have a good time along the way. I feel like we put the fun in dysfunction when we're talking about dysfunction. At least we tried.
Ah.
So today we're going to talk about a personality disorder. And as you're listening at home, and Tia, as we're discussing, you may have someone in mind that you have suspected this of, or you may actually, they have the diagnosis, or it could be one of us. We may have it. And you listening at home may have it. Technically, if I saw a doctor say, if you suspect you had this and you research it and you try to find help for it, you probably don't have it. Because if you have it, you think you're awesome. Do you have any idea what it might be, Tia?
Narcissism?
Yes.
Wow.
Ding, 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 ding.
Wow.
Now, you may love somebody you suspect have this. You may be married to somebody you suspect have this. It may be a child, which is, it's nightmarish when you work with somebody who may have this or have to deal with somebody. But when it's somebody in your life that you care about and love, it can be very hurtful, stressful. We're going to try to help with that today. And we're going to try to, you can use your teaching degree. And I can use my beauty school license.
Okay.
We're going to figure this out.
Okay.
Yeah, finally my beauty school license won't go to waste. Okay, so we are talking about narcissism. And Tia, we're actually going to describe what it is, and then you and I are going to take a little test to see if we might be
Okay.
narcissists. Maybe you should answer my questions and I should answer your questions. We'll see how it goes.
That's scary.
But if you do have to deal, you can't get away from this part. It's best to avoid these people. But if it's impossible, then we're going to give you some tips today too, which we always like to try to leave you on a helpful, positive note. So are you up for it, TT?
I'm ready.
Okay. I personally feel like people throw that around like it's not a big deal. Oh, I'm such a narcissist. It's really a serious thing that's debilitating to someone's life and people around you. You know, it's hard to be happy when you're a narcissist. So we really need to get down and dirty and make sure you understand what that is, because it's not common, not real common. So probably the person you think.
I actually think it's more common than you think.
Do you really?
I really do.
Okay, as we're discussing this, Tia, and I don't want anyone we love or know or deal with every day to think we're talking about them, because we probably are not talking about them. But
Right.
people who are listening, you might have somebody in mind, and Tia, you may have somebody in mind. A narcissist is probably going to automatically think it's about them because everything's about them. So
Right.
it's kind of a catch-22, so it's kind of funny. All right, let's put the fun in dysfunction, Tia. Let's go. Here we go.
Okay.
All right. Now, I think we know, but you know me, I like to go into the history of things, where narcissism comes from. What happened was narcissists didn't love anyone, and the gods were trying to find someone for him to love. So they had this female named Echo. Now, she wasn't called Echo for no reason. What do you want to say?
You already got me tickled. Okay.
You can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I mean, that is just echo. Okay.
All right. She was called Echo because all she could do was echo what you say.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, Tia, tell me what you had for breakfast this morning.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get it.
Aggravates getting. I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it's really aggravating. So I used to do that to my sister when she was young, until she would say, "Mom, tell Dena to stop." I thought it was so hilarious. So, would you want to share a life with someone and that's all they could do? I mean, you can't blame narcissists for not wanting to be with Echo.
Oh, I couldn't blame anybody for not wanting to be
Be
with
with
Echo.
Echo.
Oh gosh, no.
No.
Mm. Stop it.
Okay. I made my point. So, Narcissus refused. Well, he would call out to Echo and say, "Echo, where are you?" Echo, she was beautiful. "Echo, where are you?" And she would say, "Echo, where are you?" You know, so it just was not going to work. So she wandered into the woods, forlorn, sad, because Narcissus just said, "I can't deal with this. This is too much." So she didn't eat, she didn't drink water. Eventually she died. Well, this made the gods angry, because they kind of they're like the matchmakers,
This
apparently.
is folklore, right?
This is myth,
Okay.
Greek myth.
Greek mythology.
Yeah, did you have to learn that in school?
Not this.
You didn't learn about mythology? I mean, I never understood it. But
I
we did.
never knew about Echo.
Yeah, I'd heard of Narcissus, but not the Echo part. But so anyway, Narcissus, because he was lonely, he wandered in the woods. He wanted to love Echo, he just could not. That was just a deal breaker for him. So he happened to get a drink of water out of the pond and saw his face and saw how gorgeous he was, because he was gorgeous. He was hot. And he said, "Ooh, you hot." So he spent all his time staring at his reflection. He couldn't stop. So then he forgot to eat and drink and whatever. So he was doomed to no love, withered away to nothing, because he just couldn't stop looking at himself. So then psychologists thought, that's a good thing to name this, because people who are narcissistic really are fond of themselves,
Extremely.
Yeah, and they may not even be that good looking, but they don't see their flaws, physical or personality-wise. Now, have you ever wondered, this is kind of off topic, but you know how it goes, somebody who's just extremely, let's take a woman, extremely gorgeous, just perfection. Do you think when she looks in the mirror, she recognizes that she's perfect? I mean, I've seen people think, how does she get anything done without just not staring at herself? the whole time? And does she shock herself when she wakes up and sees herself in the mirror? And
I just honestly think that's in your heart, what you feel in your heart, because there are stunningly beautiful women that don't see themselves as that. Everybody else does, but they don't. And I just think they're the ones that have the good heart. The ones that look in the mirror and say, God, I am so hot. Those are the narcissists.
I can't imagine what that would be like. I mean, I have days where I think, oh, my hair looks good today, or oh, I like how I did my makeup. But I've never thought, I'm so hot. I just can't imagine.
Nor have I.
Wow. But I can see how you could get caught up in that. Dang, I'm looking good, because you can't really control it. I mean, if God decided to put all this together, all your features together perfectly like that, very pleasing, it's not your fault.
No.
You know, but all right. So then psychologists will define narcissism as grandiosity. It's the defining characteristic of narcissism. More than just arrogance or vanity or grandiosity is an unrealistic sense of superiority. Narcissists believe that they're unique or special, and they can only be understood by other special people. What's more, they're too good for just average or ordinary things. Mm-hmm. The disorder is named for Narcissus, as we mentioned, who fell in love with his own reflection. According to Sigmund Freud, narcissism is a normal stage in child development. So if you think about kids, they're all pretty much narcissists if they're healthy.
Because they want what they want now.
Yeah.
Right.
And they can't understand why they can't have it.
Right.
And why they can't have the other kid's toy.
Right.
Because they want it because they haven't matured yet. But most people grow out of that. Mm-hmm. So I knew all kids were little narcissists. But it's considered a disorder when you carry it into puberty. Karen Horney, yes, that's her name. We're going to move on from that. Tia.
Okay.
Get it together.
I'm glad.
In 1939, she further developed the idea of narcissism as a character trait, focusing mainly on more clearly defining the many divergent portraits of narcissism, and it doesn't look the same for everyone. She also theorized its causes and consequences. Dr. Horney defined narcissism as simply self-inflation, meaning that the narcissist loves and admires himself for values for which there's no adequate foundation. So let's say you became senator. That was always your dream. You became senator, and you were proud of that fact, and you told people, I'm so thrilled I'm senator, or I'm Senator Jones, or whatever. That's not narcissism. That's a fact.
Right.
Something you accomplished. But if you said, I could do a better job than that senator. I mean, I should have been senator. I don't know why I didn't win. Well, you didn't run for senator, number one. But it's perfectly normal to them to think, I could do that better, or I'm better than that. Or
Because they think they can do everything better.
Right. And they think they should have won an Oscar when they weren't even in a movie.
Right.
It's kind of
Exactly.
delusional. It can be that extreme, which is kind of kooky to think about. All right, just like I don't know why I didn't win the marathon, but I entered the half marathon. I know why I didn't win the half marathon. I'm too slow. All right, what causes narcissism, Tia? You might wonder. What do you think?
I think all of it is in your bringing up in your environment, because your parents can give you a sense of being better than everyone else, and so therefore you take this on, and then you continue it through your life thinking, I'm so much better than everyone else.
Very good, Tia.
Oh, really?
Very, very good.
Oh.
Environment.
Go ahead and tell me what it really is.
No, environment is the number one cause. Parent-child relationships. But it's either you get too much adoration or too much criticism. So if you're an only child, you run a greater risk because your parents have nothing else to focus on but you. And I think only children accomplish great feats, because they have so much attention put on them. But they don't realize that everyone else is not there for them. It's not their world, and you're like the co-stars of their life sometimes. I'm not saying all, only children, but it can happen. Or not enough attention. You kind of have to make up your own things to be proud of yourself for. So if a parent constantly criticizes you, no matter how good you are or what achievements you experience, you're constantly looking for that adoration. So you may even make up things that you've done to somebody you first meet. I've done this and I've done that, which you probably think about me, except the things I've done are so stupid.
What?
The things I've done in my lifetime would not be good examples to be admired and to be a narcissist.
Oh, I think so.
But you have to have wondered, is she making all this up? At some point in time. Okay, another reason is actually can be genetics. You can inherit characteristics such as personality traits. So if there's something in your brain, because there's neurobiology is the third reason, the connection between your brain and your behavior, things aren't all firing correctly as they should. Maybe like an empathy chip, that can be inherited from your parents.
And narcissists usually do not carry that empathy or the compassion.
Yeah, because why would you?
They lack it.
Why would you care about, unless that person is not doing what you want them to do? Then you're like, what's wrong with you?
1,000% controlling.
Exactly.
Yes.
So environment, genetics, and neurobiology. And if you think about those three things, I'm thinking about narcissists who didn't like Echo's weird habit of repeating everything he said. And then either he's born into parents that are giving him too much attention or not enough attention, or he's genetically inherited it, or it's his brain function. None of those things are his fault. So I'm trying to kind of build a sympathy thing for this in case it turns out I am a narcissist.
Okay. No.
Okay.
Okay, wow. You're hurting me a little bit right now.
How can you tell if a person is a narcissist? Here comes our test, Tia. Those of you who are listening, you can take it for yourself. Or if you think, I believe this woman I work with in the office and have to sit with every day in the cubicle is a narcissist. I'm going to find this out, whoever it might be. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Now, let's be honest with each other. If I say, no, that's not me at all, I don't mind if you say, well, Dena, actually, a little bit this, a little bit that, because just because you have some of these traits doesn't mean you're a narcissist. It's got to be an overwhelming
amount. So we're just
amount.
going to be completely transparent.
Yeah.
Okay.
With each other too.
Right.
I still love you.
And okay. Apparently, this is going to end our friendship. So I might as well just hold on for the ick of it.
All right. If you're a narcissist, you probably have an unreasonably high sense of self-importance and require constant, excessive admiration. Now, I will answer that for you. You are not that at all. You might be quite the opposite. What about me?
I don't think you're that at all.
Okay.
None.
All right. Okay.
Okay, we agree.
We agree on
we.
that. Okay. Do you know can you think of anyone you know of experience that has that trait?
I can think of more than one.
Really? They need constant admiration.
Constant, like, at a girl or at a boy, who you did so great. And then
okay, you really think so? Is that what you
no, and then they'll continue. Like, after you've already complimented, then they want more of it. Or they'll say, oh, no, you really don't think that. And then what they're asking for is just more compliments.
Yeah. And do you think that can translate into like, oh, I sucked at that so bad, when they know they didn't?
Yes.
So that they can get the admiration?
Yes.
Okay. I think some of us are guilty of that because we're taught to be modest. Like my parents said, don't brag on yourself, don't brag on yourself. So I might do that occasionally. Like, it's not to get the adoration, it's just like, I'm not comfortable with compliments, maybe. I think that might be a different thing, though. Okay. They feel that they deserve privileges and special treatments. You are not that way at all.
You are not that way either.
In fact, that makes me angry when people think.
I do too.
Okay. So 1 and 2, we got X. That's what I've got. Okay. How you guys doing at home? Are you going, oh crap? Let me stop looking in the mirror and write these down. Okay. They expect to be recognized as superior even without any achievements. I don't think I'm delusional about that.
I don't think you are. Am I?
No. I think you and I, so far, might be...
Far.
I mean,
So
some of these
far.
might be unhealthily, don't brag on me and I don't deserve an achievement. You know what I mean? It's like, do you ever kind of feel that way about yourself, maybe?
But this is like you brag on yourself and you have 0 achievements. Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah. Like, say a sibling, one sibling wins a swim meet and the other one feels like she should be getting a medal too or a prize too. Or I see this a lot with people, like if it's one sibling's birthday, especially if they're younger, they get the other sibling a present too so they don't feel left out. How do you feel about that?
It's kind of like I feel about participation trophies. There's a winner and there's a loser. And if you don't teach that to your children, then they're always going to think that they deserve something that they didn't earn.
Right.
You have to earn it. It's like right now the Summer Olympics are going on. I think they're still going on.
Well, it's spring, but they should be coming up.
Okay. All right.
But there may be
I'm
some...
sorry. I guess I've just seen so many advertisements on TV and everything. But,
Yeah, they're coming up soon.
they literally train day in, day out, 365 days a year. I mean, they may have, a couple of days off here and there. But, I mean, they're after one thing. It's to be the best of the best. Now, if they won, but everybody else got a medal, how do you think that would make them feel? When you lose, it is kind of like, I hate to lose, but it always made me try harder to win the next time. Yeah. I don't think losing is bad. I think losing is it's part of life.
Mm-hmm. And in everyday life, I have witnessed, like I say, the birthday analogy where it's one sibling's birthday, the other one's birthday's 6 months away, but they say, well, we better get her a gift too, because I don't agree. Now, I'm not a parent, and I know it's hard for your child to feel sad and left out, and it's easier to say, here's you something, just shut up. But to me, if he gets him to be quiet, yeah, we'll get you this too. But I just think that's very unhealthy. I think it makes that child feel privileged. It makes the other sibling's child day not special. So I don't know what a psychologist would say about that, but I don't like that. I don't like that. It's not your birthday, sweetie.
Right.
Your birthday's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And your brother will not get a present on that day either. I mean, I feel like I would be more tough love, but who knows? I might have folded if I was a kid. So either one of us don't fall into that, I don't think.
Nope.
Make achievements and talents seem bigger than they actually are. So if you were telling me a story about something you did in the past, let's say you came in 3rd place because you were a big athlete or participated a lot, but you really didn't. You almost got 3rd place, or you said you got 2nd when you got 3rd. I can't see you doing that. I don't know that you did that or have done that.
No, I'm pretty much like I'll play it more down than up.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'd be more likely to say I was pretty much last.
When you got the 1st place.
No. I mean, what you just said, like, would you make it sound like even though you almost got 3rd, would you just make it bigger than it was? And I could have been 2nd. No, I would have said I should have worked harder. I did not do my best.
Yeah. I feel like you're honest to a fault. I mean, I could find out different, but I have never caught you at an exaggeration or out lie. So I would probably be surprised if I saw all the things you had accomplished that you didn't mention.
But the thing of it is, let's be real transparent. I have lied on occasion. Not about achievements, though. I mean, just because anybody can find that out.
Yeah, true. Okay, I will confess on this one. I might get a half a point on this one because fake it till you make it is something that in my young adulthood, I went through. So if I was trying to get, let's say, go into an advertising agency and get an art job because I was desperate and starving, I might exaggerate my resume, or I might say, yes, I've worked and done logos for this company when I only did one. I've done logos. I've done, are resumes an exemption?
I think so, because I think everybody kind of, I don't know, just makes a resume look just a little bit, because you want the job.
Right.
You want the job. So, maybe you did just one, but why not, I've done logos, because maybe the S didn't belong on there, but...
Oops, typo.
I know, but I mean... Yeah, I don't know. I think that resumes are an exemption.
Okay, I am guilty of that. I am guilty of that, because if I know I can do it, I know I'll be great at this assignment, that I might exaggerate and say, like, I was a consultant for this project, when actually I was sitting there taking notes as a secretary with the person who was doing the job. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Use the word consultant instead of assistant, or that kind of thing. So, I don't know. Should I get a half a point for that?
No.
Okay. All right. Be preoccupied with fantasies about success, power, brilliance, beauty, or the perfect mate. Be preoccupied with fantasies. Preoccupied is the key word there. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I fantasized about all those things. I don't believe them. I think when you start to believe them, like, I was married to Morgan Fairchild, Okay,
now, wait a second. Okay. I mean, that consumes... the majority of your days, you sit and fantasize?
No. I think that's where preoccupied is probably...
All right, thank you. Then I don't think you're that way.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not.
It's hard to say, because you're not in somebody's brain, what they're thinking about or fantasizing about.
Well, true.
Yeah. But I think you could do that to... When I was younger, I wanted to be Cher when I was younger, and I would draw my little outfits.
Well, who wouldn't want to be Cher?
True.
Today.
But I couldn't sing a lick.
Look at her.
Yeah, she looks like it. She got a young boyfriend, too. So, preoccupied, I had a very active imagination when I was younger, and would sit and imagine myself doing all these things that I could do.
I did that too.
Yeah, I think that's healthy.
I do too. I mean, I just think if you don't have the chances, or somebody doesn't give you the okay to dream and fantasize about, then, I mean, how are all these entrepreneurs ever going to make it? They had to sit and dream or fantasize about creating X, whatever X is. Even like the Easy Bake Oven. Somebody had to dream, like, to make this oven for children that could bake cakes with a light bulb. I mean, let's think about that.
Yeah. True. Because if you went to somebody and told them about that, they'd say, you're crazy.
Right.
Get your head out of the clouds.
Exactly. But somebody did it.
Yeah, true.
I mean, somebody, has been awesome enough to develop medication and everything that today, when you're sick, it's really hard for them not to have at least something, unless you have, like, say, ALS, or you don't catch cancer soon enough, and it's in the 4th stage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, think about how long and how far we've come.
Yeah.
With stuff like that.
So we have to have people that can fantasize and dream big. I guess it would be, when you're a child, you're going to do that more often, and then as you get older, let's say you're a husband with 3 kids and you don't have a job, or you're laying on the couch, maybe playing video games, pretending to be a soldier of fortune, and imagining that you are, and you're shirking your responsibilities. That would be narcissistic behavior, unhealthy behavior. Okay. All right. I won't give myself a point for that one either.
Why?
I mean, I'll put an X for that.
Okay.
Believe they are superior to others and can only spend time with or be understood by equally special people.
In their mind.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, you
I'm
could
being
feel like
serious.
Yeah.
Because narcissistic people surround themselves with people that they can control.
Yeah.
And they cannot stand not to be in control. So they usually seek out people that they literally can control and that they feel that are beneath them.
I think so too.
No, I know so.
Yeah. So I don't really agree with this statement that they feel like they can only be understood by equally special people. I think that's an excuse to, nobody understands me. All the people around you are mad at you about the way you're behaving, and you say, well, you don't understand geniuses like me. But I agree. You have to surround yourself with people who are maybe a little more needy or intimidated by you.
Intimidated.
Have your own little clan or whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, because you're the big fish in the little pond that way. Okay, I don't think I do that. I like all different kinds of people. I really prefer to be people who are above me because I can learn from them. And, you know, I don't like to be around people who don't stimulate me mentally so much, but, you know, that have done things that I haven't done or accomplished things that I haven't accomplished. I think that's fun.
I think that's fun. I just like to be around people that make me giggle.
Yeah. That you can laugh at you.
Well, I mean, that just make me smile, that make me laugh. But I love learning new things. I totally love learning new things. And sometimes if I keep my mouth shut long enough, I actually do.
No, I'm glad you participate. I love it when you have thoughts about things. So far, we're safe.
Okay.
Regardless of what some people listening might think about us. Be critical of and look down on people they feel are not important. Oh, Lordy.
Oh, Lord.
I think a lot of people have that trait that aren't narcissists. It makes them feel better about themselves. Don't you? I think it's a natural tendency to think of the negative about people. That's the go-to to criticize someone, to point out the dirty dishes in the sink, maybe.
I just think, again, that depends on where your heart is. Because when you have to call out someone else for their faults just to build yourself up, that sickens me.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you've got dirty dishes in your sink and you invite somebody over, all you're doing is being a transparent, authentic self, because you trust that person so much that you're like, they're not going to judge me. Narcissistic people judge constantly, and it doesn't matter about what.
Yeah, they can't think of the positive thing to say about someone.
Not one single thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I don't think that we're that way any more than anyone else, you know. I can't think of you saying bad things about people, you know. Unless they, you know, kicked your dog or something, you're going to say something about that.
Darn straight.
They expect special favors and expect other people to do what they want without questioning them.
Okay, without questioning is the biggest. Because if you don't agree with them 100%, then you are the bad guy. You're the fall guy. Period.
Yeah. They expect favors, expect people to do what they want without questioning them. I know some people like that. You know, they expect... I like for somebody to feel they can come to me and say, do you know anybody that could do this for me? Or I know you know this person who does this. Is there any way you could get me a discount? I mean, I want somebody to be able to do that to me. But if they expect... You know, if they get angry if I can't, or if I say, I'm not really comfortable asking... You know, I feel like I'm taking advantage of that person to ask them to do. They did the favor for me, and then they get angry. That's more of a narcissistic behavior. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, I would.
Okay. And I have had that happen to me. Take advantage of others to get what they want. That's kind of the same thing. They might pursue a friendship with someone who can get them in a country club, for example. You know, has influence. What can this person do for me? That's why I want to hang around them. And sadly, that's how people get successful and get on top. You know, they craft their friendships.
I know. Not all people do that, though.
Yeah.
It's sad when they do.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I mean, how can you feel good when you finally achieve success and know the road of how you got there? Yeah. That's sad.
I've had people say to me, you should be friends with her because she does this and this and this, and she knows this, and maybe she could get you this. And I think, why did you become a friend with me? What did I have that you needed, you know? Although I pretty much know nobody's going to be a friend with me because I don't have anything.
Quit it.
It's like, what are they going to get from me? You know?
You just did not just say that. I know you didn't.
You can borrow my Mazda if you want.
Wow.
Okay, so I think we're safe there. Although, I mean, you know a lot of people and have influence over certain things, so somebody might befriend you to see if you can get them to this person or to this thing. I'm not going to say specifics, but I could see that with you. And I especially imagine if you were super duper rich and powerful, you know, like a famous person, they must question every friendship they have.
Why would they not?
Yeah, get taken advantage of all the time. So one thing about not being a millionaire, I'm not a magnet for narcissists, that's for sure. They have an inability or unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of others. I think it's more of an inability. I think it's just not in their brain. You were talking about the empathy.
Right. I don't know if it's an inability or they just don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
Yeah, that's so sad.
I know.
Yeah.
It is so sad. But I just think that the weaker and the less than that they can make you feel, the better and the stronger they feel.
So if somebody says, how is your your sick dad, how's he doing? And you say da 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 da, and you don't say back, how's your dad? No, if you know that they're dead. If that doesn't automatically come out of your mouth, I wonder if that's a narcissistic trait. I have a tendency to, somebody will ask me, how's this going? And I'll say, fine. And then I don't ask them back, only because I feel like I'm being nosy. And I think, I should have said, how's your, what's a specific question about them that I could have asked them? And that could be a narcissistic trait of me. I mean, it's not that I don't care. It's like they're not offering it to me, so I'm afraid to be intrusive. And then I'll even think, why didn't I ask them how their mom was doing? I find that.
Yeah, see, I don't know about that one because, I mean, if if somebody says, hey, how are you? Not asking specifically about anything. I mean, well, fine, how are you?
Yeah, that's an automatic reaction.
Yeah,
But do you really care? Are you really asking? You want them to say fine back, don't you, I guess?
No, not necessarily, because, I mean, I really do want to know, are you okay? Or do you need something and are you just brushing it off?
Yeah.
Because
why do you want to know? Tell me why you want to know. Because you love them and you care about them.
Don't you?
Yeah.
All right. See, this is kind of a difficult subject, I think, for you and I.
Okay.
Because, or you myself, I don't know, grammar.
That's right.
I just think a lot of these things come just normal. Like, why would we not be compassionate for someone? Why would we not be empathetic for someone, to someone? Why?
Yeah.
I mean, that just kind of goes against our beings, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think I was kind of raised not to rag on my mom and dad because I love them. I wouldn't change their parents out for anything. I think subconsciously I was taught to mind my business. So if somebody walked up to me that I was not my best friend, let's say I went to school with them, hadn't seen them in a while, and they came up and said, how are you doing? I'd say, I'm good. What are you up to? And they'd say, well, how are your mom and dad? I said, well, my dad passed and my mom is, she's doing good. And then I just stand there because my automatic, I hate to even say this about myself. It's like, I feel like I'm, mind your business, Dena. Don't ask them because their parents may have died in a car crash. But it's normal to say, what about your parents? Why am I not like that? Is automatically. I have to really think about it. Have you ever noticed that about me?
Because, I mean, you've always, even that whole long period that of just caring for your father. Mm-hmm. Every single time I ask you, you would always say, and how are you doing?
Okay, good.
Even though you were, like, in the pits of hell during that time, you always ask. So maybe you don't recognize yourself or hear yourself saying something back.
Maybe so.
Because you do. You
Maybe
actually
so.
do.
Maybe so. I also have a tendency, we may get to that one down here, but I'll go ahead and say it now so I won't forget. Like somebody is telling me a story, I'm catching up with them, and the same thing happened to me or to my parents or to my sister or whoever. I'll interrupt and say, that happened to me too. Oh, I can't believe that. My dad went there too. And that can come across as making it about you and interrupting it. And I do that because I can't believe you went to whatever too, the same school my dad, So maybe I'm a bad listener.
Now, I'm guilty of that as well.
Okay.
But only because if I don't say it then, because I'll say, I'm sorry, just hold on, because I want to finish hearing what you're saying, but I just have to interject this in there because I'll forget it by the time you're finished telling the story. And I literally will.
Yeah, okay,
it.
Me too. Yeah.
All right, so I don't think it's interrupting. I don't think it's trying to make it about you, because you can always come back after they're finished their story and then see how your stories like correlate and how similar they are.
Yeah, or sometimes I'm so shocked that the same thing.
Right.
That's exactly what I just went through. I can't believe it. I feel like I'm commiserating with that person. We have that in common. Right. And I'm so reaching out, but I think they're like, well, if you'll shut up for a second.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
I have a brown dog too. My dog pooped in the yard this morning too.
It's amazing.
We have so much in common. Okay, let's get through these. Be envious of others and believe, this is two totally different things. Be envious of others. I think that's a pretty obvious one. You might not be able to want to talk about their achievements because you're jealous of it. Mm-hmm. And believe that others are envious of you. So if somebody's mad at you, you think, they're just jealous of me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Have I been envious of what someone accomplished? The only time I've ever been envious of what someone's accomplished if it was something that really was important to me. If somebody says, I won Lawyer of the Year, blah, blah, I think, well, that's great because I could never be a lawyer, never want to be a lawyer. But if they said they won some art competition that I was going to enter and I didn't enter this year, I might think, I wanted that. I don't want you not to have it,
but you're not happy for that person.
Right. No.
Because I think you're always happy for everyone's achievements. I do think that narcissistic people make others' achievements seem less than.
Yeah.
Way less than.
Yeah. They have no joy in it.
Theirs is like huge.
Yeah.
Well, you did that little thing. Let me tell you about what I've done.
Yeah, yeah. And it just kind of comes out of their mouth like that.
It does. It actually does.
It's not even sneaky. It's just like, okay.
They don't care.
It never occurs to them that something's wrong. They behave in an arrogant way, brag a lot, and come across as conceited. That's, I think, pretty obvious. Yeah. And we may perceive that person that way if we're a jealous person. So it may be our perspective that they're bragging. Stating what you've done, if it's true to me, is not bragging. If it comes out of the blue, maybe you're not even talking about cooking and they say they won a cooking contest, that you'd be like, okay, well, we weren't talking about cooking. I'm glad your pickles won.
For you.
They insist on having the best of everything. For instance, the best car or the best office. You see this on Real Housewives, when they go on a vacation and they go into the house and they want to choose the room, the best room. Or you may experience with your friends. You're going to Florida, you're going into a condo. This is my room. And they plop down on the bed. I would have a tendency to stand off and say, I'll go in the basement.
Okay.
You would too, wouldn't you?
Well, no, I'll sleep on the sofa.
Well, yeah, you have said that. Go in a hotel room, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, that can be, not with you, but that could also be like a martyr kind of thing. They're trying to get attention. No, please, I want you to sleep with, I'm not saying you're that way, but I'm saying I have had people do that just to beg to be, no, please,
I do it only because
I know you mean it.
I get, I don't sleep well, and I tend to get up several times. Yeah. And so instead of bothering other people, why wouldn't I? That's the way because, who cares?
If you watch Real Housewives, they're all probably borderline narcissists.
Really?
The way they fight over those rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And it just ruins their vacation if they're downstairs. And even if they have a great room, they wish they had gotten. I went through this when I was young. My sister and I would we were close enough in age, my mom would say, okay, y'all pick out a toy, and it would be the same toy, but maybe in different colors. Once you get 2 different colors so you know whose is who. And my sister would say, which one do you want? Because she knew better. I'd say, I want the pink one. I'll take the blue one. And immediately I'd be like, that blue one's better. I wish I'd gotten blue. But that was before puberty, so I grew out of it.
All right, good.
But I was a little doo-doo head when I was a kid. I really was. And I always felt I had made the wrong decision and that everybody had the better one. Now, you and your sister are close in age. Did you guys ever have that kind of sibling, I wish I had gotten that doll for Christmas that she got? Y'all were never like that?
No. I don't think that we ever really went after the same things.
Okay, you're so different.
Well, I mean, we might have had some of the same things. I'm not recalling them right now, but I mean, she was like my baby sister. I wanted her to have any and everything she really, really wanted.
Right.
So
that's good. So she wasn't really in the position to be the big sister that would sacrifice things, because she's the little, the baby at the family can be a little doo-doo head. I'm not saying your sister is, but I was. And sometimes the older sibling does defer to the child because they've already done that,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you go ahead and get that toy because I did that before, so it's sibling.
Well, she would say, I'm going to tell on you. Okay, well, rock on.
Go for it. At the same time, okay, I think we did pretty good, Tia.
Okay, well,
because we didn't have a
scoring.
No, it was just a majority. You would need to do a majority.
Oh.
Now, contrary to all that, at the same time, people with narcissistic personality disorders have trouble handling anything they view as a criticism. So they become impatient or angry if someone doesn't receive special recognition or treatment. They have major problems interacting with others and feel slighted real easily.
Very.
Okay, I can tell you we're speaking from experience. She's not talking about you, whoever is listening. React with rage or contempt and try to belittle other people to make themselves superior.
That's what I just said a while ago.
Exactly.
They do literally will try to make you less than.
Right. Because I think technically they feel like they don't feel good enough, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Have difficulty managing their emotions and behaviors. Have you ever known someone that anytime you're doing a group activity, it turns into a drama because of that one person? Unnecessary drama. And I think it's just to get the attention.
Right.
Everything's going smooth, everybody's having fun, and there has to be some kind of meltdown.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've both experienced that. And it wasn't me, and I'm sure it wasn't you. Have major problems dealing with stress and adapting to change. That's me. I don't like change at all. But I don't know how that plays into narcissism, but I guess because it's like a control, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Withdraw or avoid situations in which they might fail. I'll do that unless it's a group thing, and I think, I'm going to suck at this, but we're all doing this as a group. Like going bowling, for instance. I can't bowl. But it's a group thing. I'll have fun. I'm not going to not do it because I'm going to look like a fool. But I might have done that. I don't know. Or I might say, no, I don't think I want to go, only because I'm not going to have fun doing that.
No, I went bowling and looked like a fool. So,
You did it. You did it.
I did it. But I did look like a fool.
Did you fall down?
Yes, I did. I mean, I had more gutter balls than I had. And then actually hit pins on someone else's lane.
Well, that was nice of you. See, you're giving. You're a giving person.
That was very giving, not.
Unselfish of you. Feel depressed and moody because they fall short of perfection. That's typical in a child. They're talking about narcissism. The little kid tries to do something and he doesn't do good at it, so he just takes the whole puzzle and throws it in the floor and nobody else can play it, because that's something hopefully you grow out of, but some people don't grow out of that.
There's nobody that can achieve perfection, period.
Right.
And so as long as you're thinking that, all you're going to do is be miserable.
Exactly. They have secret feelings of insecurity, shame, humiliation, and fear of being exposed as a failure. Mm-hmm. To me, that's what all this is.
Exactly.
They don't want to be exposed.
I think that the majority of narcissistic people are just very unhappy with themselves, but they would never allow anybody else to know that.
Yeah, yeah.
They're just real unhappy, and so they just want to make everybody else as unhappy as they possibly can to make themselves look better.
Yeah, it's like, everybody's miserable here. What's wrong with everybody? Does a narcissist apologize? Although narcissistic people can apologize, they're likely to do so for their own benefit rather than out of genuine remorse. For example, a narcissist might offer an insincere apology to get something in return. Well, the worst apology, like, I'm sorry I made you feel that way, or I'm sorry you thought that's what I was doing, or rather than, I'm sorry I did that to you. That's kind of a narcissistic apology.
Well, no, because I've said, I'm sorry. If I made you feel that way, that was not my intention at all.
Okay.
I have said that, but I meant it.
Okay. I think sometimes people would think that is, you were wrong. And, sometimes people are wrong. They misinterpreted what you meant. So you're just stating a fact.
But I really wasn't.
That wasn't your intention.
It wasn't my intention, but I'm really not sorry for what I did. That's what it really means to me.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry if it made you feel that way. That was not my intention at all, but I'm not sorry for doing or saying what I said.
Gotcha. Yeah, you're just being honest there.
I'm just being honest. And so I just think that for narcissist people, it goes against the grain for them to apologize, just like you said, unless they get some kind of benefit. Like, well, I told her I was sorry about, and she never even accepted it.
Yeah. You might tell
then,
somebody you're sorry so that you can get back into the group, when you don't mean it.
Right, exactly.
I'm so sorry I did that. You're right. And then you tell everybody, I don't really mean that,
Yes.
I just want to come back so I can go to the beach. Does a narcissist cry? While people with narcissism aren't devoid of emotions, their emotions are self-focused. They can know they're hurting your feelings, but as long as it elevates their status, they don't care. Someone living with narcissism does cry. They can feel regret, remorse, and sadness. I think they cry when something doesn't go their way. It's probably more frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Tears are, I'm just being pooped upon. Everybody's picking on me kind of cry. They probably wouldn't cry for someone else's pain.
Right.
What happens when a narcissist sees you cry? A narcissist might become angry when they see you cry, depending on the circumstances. It may arouse an overwhelming feeling of shame or losing control over the other person and their emotions. So to regain control and suppress the shame, they might get mad at you when you start crying.
I don't know. Some encounters I've had is they almost, it's like, get excited.
Oh, they enjoy that you cry.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Because it's like, I won.
Yeah.
They won.
That was their goal, to make you cry. Yeah. Do they lie a lot? Narcissists lie effortlessly and are very convincing because they lack normal human emotions or inhibitions. They are insensitive and bored and lack the willingness to show empathy and feel shame or remorse. The coldness of feeling also allows them to lie with minimal inhibitions. I can remember it being very little. Again, this was before puberty. Discovering that you can lie about something and get out of something really easily. I thought, this is a cool discovery.
Oh, wow.
Like, Dena, did you do that? No? Oh, okay. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But then
I did do that when I was,
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's a cool little, and it's almost like I can remember when I discovered you don't have to tell the truth. Nobody saw me. I can look around, nobody saw me. Or even say, no, my sister did that. I didn't do that. I mean, I did that too. To get out of the immediate punishment. Isn't that terrible? But then as your brain develops, your frontal lobe comes together. Mm-hmm. You're like, I can't do that. That's wrong, Yeah,
but I mean, I lied after puberty. I mean, come on.
Yeah, to get out of stuff.
I mean, now it's almost like if you lie, you feel convicted about it. Like,
Yeah, I try to do things that I don't have to live my life in a way I don't have to lie.
Right.
But if somebody said, so-and-so told me that dress made me look short or fat, I don't want to use the F word, but made me look bad. What did you think? Well, I thought I thought you really enjoyed, I thought you felt like you looked really good. I'm not going to say, well, yeah, I didn't like it. It's white lies, I guess, that you don't want to hurt somebody.
Right.
Or I might lie and say, I don't know. I don't really lie anymore than say I'm sick when I'm not, because I'm sick so much I don't have to lie. But I might lie about getting out of something that, not because I don't love the person, it's just I don't feel like doing that thing right now. So I might say, I'm sorry, I've got another commitment. But then I feel terrible about it. They say you don't have to have a good memory if you don't lie.
Exactly.
As my memory gets worse, I'm like, oh, shoot, what did I say about that?
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I
You
think we're all
don't have
good.
to have a good memory if you just tell the truth.
All right. I think we're all guilty of these little lies now and then, just to make life easier. I would never lie about someone else. But do they have friends? Like you were saying, narcissists typically have a specific type of friend who serves their needs, reinforces their grandiose sense of self-importance. These friendships are often characterized by manipulation, exploitation, and a lack of genuine emotional connection. Narcissists often use their friends as manipulative tools to get what they want. They may also be very domineering and demanding, which can eventually lead to strained relationships. And because narcissists lack empathy and compassion, they're not very good at maintaining. They go through their friends. Their friends discover who they really are and call them out on it. So they're like, I'm going to go to the next person.
Right. But some are extremely good at hiding it too.
Yeah. And I think they have their yes men around them that they get something. These yes men get something from the queen bee in the group because they keep coming back, or they know they're lying and they just say no, and they reinforce. If they had an argument with somebody, no, you're right, you didn't do anything wrong. There's some reason they are attracted to that person.
Or the big daddy of the group.
Yeah.
Because you're saying queen bee meaning like a female, but there's...
Oh, men do it too. Yeah.
Oh, there's... yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's like maybe that guy has a boat or gets them into places, or they have fun with them. They go out and have fun with them, but they know they're very flawed and they know what they're saying is not true about an argument, but they just don't say anything.
Exactly.
They're like, I want to stay his friend, so... Yeah.
Especially like if you're married to a husband that's a narcissist, they will belittle you. I know several friends and if you're not careful, you'll believe it.
Right.
And that's the sad, horrible part of it all.
Yeah. A narcissist is very good at slowly... I was in a relationship with one, and they love bomb you at first. Mm-hmm. They tell you you're just the most beautiful, wonderful, perfect. They're very patient. They get you hooked. The first time they do something crappy, you think, wait a minute, that's not who they are. I must have, and they say, well, I wouldn't have done this if you hadn't said this. Or, you make me act that way.
And then it's almost like it was your fault. And then you're sitting there going, am I crazy?
Yeah, because they've been great to me for months.
Right.
Yeah, I've been through that, and that's the diabolical planning and genius.
And it's horrible.
Yeah, that's the gaslighting.
And some people are geniuses at it.
Yeah, they take their time. It's
Yes,
really crazy. Yeah. If I didn't love you so much and you didn't drive me crazy, I wouldn't have done that. Ugh. Okay. So let's say you do love a narcissist. You're in this relationship. Let's say you're raising kids with a narcissist, or you work with a narcissist, or your child is a narcissist. What are you going to do? How do narcissists treat their partners? If you suspect you're in a relationship with a narcissist, in a romantic relationship, a person, I'm going to say NARS because this word's getting on my nerves. A person with NARS may first come on strong with compliments and proclamations of love. That's just what we said. But over time, they begin to criticize you and even gaslight you. They may even also need constant compliments and validation of their superiority. So that's what we were just talking about. All of a sudden, if someone does a switcheroo on you, they're probably a NARS.
Right.
Can a narcissist be a good person? Someone with narcissistic traits may not have bad intentions, particularly if their narcissism developed in response to an uncaring childhood, environment, or growing up with a narcissistic parent. They can't help it. By using words like no, accountability, consequence, and empathy, you can challenge a narcissist's sense of superiority and hold them accountable for their behavior. So once you recognize that in somebody, in a kind way, you can say, you're not taking accountability for this. Mm-hmm. There are consequences to how you're treating me, and I feel like you don't have any empathy for how I feel. Those are key words to use with someone if you love them and want to stay with whatever your relationship is with them. What angers a narcissist? What angers a narc the most? Criticism or rejection. Because narcissists thrive on constant admiration and attention, they're hypersensitive to anything that might undermine their grandiose self-image. Mm-hmm. They feel ignored, overlooked, or undervalued. They'll respond with rage. Now, if you want to get away from a narcissist, then constantly cause them trouble like that. Constantly criticize them, laugh at them, mm-hmm. whatever. If you don't think they'll hurt you, and you don't have to be with them, that's a thing to do. If you don't placate them, they don't get anything from you.
Right.
So
they're like echo.
Exactly. It's called the gray rock theory. Be as boring as a gray rock, mm-hmm. and they're not going to want to be around you anymore. So if you can stand to do that, and you could actually be in a relationship with a narcissist and not realize it. This saying here says, narcissists look different once you begin to heal yourself. You begin to notice how unattractive they are on the inside, which makes them unattractive on the outside. So if you're a wounded personality that has always been the quiet yes man or the needy, I'll take the back seat martyr person, you may not recognize someone's a narcissist until you start to heal yourself. And then you see, wait a minute, they're treating me like crap. Mm-hmm. So normally a narcissist will not seek help. They don't even know it until their life starts to fall apart. Maybe they start drinking a lot of alcohol or doing drugs or doing very destructive behavior, go through a lot of marriages, burn a lot of bridges. And so they go to a psychologist and say, I need help. Mm-hmm. My life is falling apart. And then they get that shocking diagnosis that all these people haven't mistreated them. It's actually them that are being the poopy heads. So,
poopy head. They're poopy head.
So they probably lose their job. Sometimes they get eating disorders. All these things have to kind of hit rock bottom. Mm-hmm. When you hit rock bottom, then you go out and seek the diagnosis.
When you have to look up to see the bottom.
Exactly. So, prevention. There's really no way to prevent narcissistic. Now, you can maybe not create a narcissist if you're a parent. If you start to recognize that your child is not growing out of that behavior, get treatment as soon as possible. Go to a childhood mental health mm-hmm. professional. Don't blame yourself. Raising children, humans, it's got to be the hardest thing. Are you doing too much? Are you doing too little?
Too little, I know.
It's craziness. So
I agree.
Yeah. Don't not take them because you're like, I'm ashamed because I created this little monster.
Nope.
Because you got to learn, you got to know better to do better. So, and it may have been something genetic or it may be a neurological disorder. It's not even your fault. But don't let it go, because a cute little kid that's a narcissist you can deal with, but teenagers, adults, they can be dangerous.
Yes, very.
And it just goes ahead and procreates that never-ending cycle. Participate in family therapy to learn ways to better communicate and cope. The child might be more willing to do it if you're sitting there with them and you're trying to fix your situation mm-hmm. so that you can change your behavior. Attend parenting classes and seek guidance from a therapist or social worker. So hopefully with things we've said, you may recognize that in your grandchild or your niece or nephew or a friend's child, and you may could subtly say, listen to this podcast, or I'm recognizing these things and little Timmy is not growing out of this, and your problems are going to get bigger. I know that's a tough, touchy subject to do, but it's better to nip it in the bud. So let's say to you have to work with a narcissist. You've got no choice. You love your job, but you actually have to work on projects with a narcissist. The first step is to take control away from a narcissist. You're diagnosing them yourself. So I'd be diagnosing them with my beauty school license degree. So I'm going to keep it to myself that I have come to this diagnosis. You have to set boundaries. Maybe they talk to you like you're dirt on their shoe. Mm-hmm. You have to stop at some point and say,
right.
That's it, you will not speak to. We have to work together, but I will not take that.
I will not accept it
Yeah.
anymore.
Because they're going to continue to talk to you the way you accept, because it makes them feel good. Like you said, they like to make you upset. They like to make you cry. Don't let them manipulate their emotions. Once you come to this conclusion and this clarity,
they're master manipulators.
they really are.
Major.
Yeah. So if you know their diagnosis because you listen to this podcast, that's your little secret. And you're like, what you say does not affect me because you're a NARS. You may not realize it, but Dena and Tia said you were NARS, and I recognize it. And you say whatever you want about me. It's your opinion means nothing to me.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Prioritize your self-care. Treat yourself with kindness and respect. Recognize what you accomplished in this project that you were working with this person. You know you did not drop the ball. Understand you're never going to change them. You won't change them. They have to decide to change themselves. Communicate clearly if you have to deal with them, especially, it says preferably in writing. So if you're going to do a project, you're going to say, okay, John, you said you were going to do this report, come up with these graphics, and I'm going to do this research on this. Look at this. Do we agree? Give it to your superior. This is what we're going to do. So if they drop the ball and say, well, no, they were supposed to do that, then you've got it in writing. Do not try to please them. That's what I was saying before. Just let them say what they want about you. Don't try to correct them. Don't waste your energy trying to correct them. Don't share with them. If you're having an emotional day, don't tell them anything. They will use it against you. They will manipulate you. Talk about the weather. Talk about the ball game or whatever, but do not tell them about your personal feelings or personal life. Even if you've done it in the past, stop it now. Stop it now. Refuse to engage in arguments. It's kind of hard to argue with yourself when they get that angry. You could actually laugh while they're arguing. Or file your nails or whatever.
Yeah, well, that would go over like...
I know.
Wow.
But eventually that anger is going to dissipate if they're just sitting there by themselves and nobody's arguing with them. Control your emotions so that they can't see what you're really feeling. Become the gray rock. I am a rock. Use visualization and deep breathing because, somebody like you especially, you're going to be worried about them. Even though you know their doo-doos and what they're doing, you still have that heart that's going to be like, maybe I could help them. Maybe I could fix them. Don't do it, Tia.
No, I know, Dena, don't you?
Just nod as they're talking and then go about your day. Don't engage in the argument. Control your emotions so they can't see that you're upset with how they're treating you. Do the deep breathing in case you're starting to hyperventilate because they're stressing you out again. And then therapists and attorneys can help you. If you have a lawyer you could go to that says, I'm afraid I'm going to lose my job over this person. I'm afraid they're going to make up something that I did wrong in this project when they're dropping the ball. I'm just letting you know ahead of time, what should I be documenting things? You could write down every day what they've done. And then go to a therapist if you need to. But I would hate to think that somebody who is so screwed up that you have to deal with every day has caused you to have to go to a therapist, I think prayer is always helpful, talking to a friend, knowing it's not you. Once you know that.
Somebody that's non-biased and somebody that is actually trustworthy. Those are, I think, two of the biggest things.
Yeah.
Because you do not want somebody that's going to immediately take your side.
True.
And then you want somebody that you feel like if you open up and bear all, that it's not going to go in anywhere, period.
Yeah, right.
So, I would actually go to someone that I guess more than just yourself thinks is trustworthy.
Yeah. I don't think you should do it to somebody. I'm still in this office analogy. You shouldn't go to someone else in the office and say, did you see what he did? Go outside. If you don't have a spouse you can talk to or a friend you can talk to. So this is what happened. Tell me your objective opinion. Did I do that or did they do that?
Yeah, but you can't. I don't think it'd be fair to go to a spouse because they're going to
they'll take your side.
Your side.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But they don't go to your best friend. I would just go to some, like a clergyman or something.
Oh, okay.
Literally, I would. Because I'm not Catholic, but, sometimes it might be kind of cool just to go into a Catholic church and get into a confessional.
That's true. You can walk in there anytime, can't you?
Yeah, you can. And you can just rock on.
Yeah. So this happened. It's driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Is it me? I think if it's a repetitive thing, especially after listening to us. Hopefully we helped you with the way to identify this. Those are very clever. Time limits on conversations. Okay, John, I've got 10 minutes for you, and then I've got to move on to the next thing I need to do.
You know what? YouTube is filled with help dealing with narcissists.
Is that? Yeah. Maybe I can put some links to some
Yes.
good videos on that. And you may discover that you have problems with your self-worth too, that it's affecting you so bad, and this narcissist has a radar. Oh, there's Beth over in the corner. She'll be my best victim that I can manipulate and get to do my work for me. So
And that happens to entirely too many people
yeah.
that are like right here, like way on top with their self-worth and their just yumness of their life, and then a narcissist can come in and just rip them to shreds, and then they feel like they're less than,
Yeah.
and that's sad.
Yeah. Okay, so, and if you love one, that's probably the worst thing if you're married to a narcissist and love them and raising kids with them and you feel like you just can't leave. Therapy. They're not willing to change. Then you have to decide, is my life happier? Will my kids be happier if this person is limited in our lives? You know, it's a tough, divorce
It
is
affects
tough.
the entire family. So
Yeah.
I think if one of the spouses who are a NARS is not willing to change, I think it would be beneficial to just remove yourself and your children.
Yeah, and that might be the boundary you set.
Right.
And they may can go get the therapy that they need if you still love them. Yeah. Whew, it's tough. It's tough. I've never been in something I couldn't get out of in that situation, but people who are, I really feel for them that they're in that situation. So, Tia, I think we safely discovered that we are not a NARS. If
I'm
anyone
glad, because I would rather be a Mars bar.
Mars than a NARS.
Milky Way.
Okay, so in conclusion, Tia, I hope we've helped. In the show notes, I'll have the sources to where I got all this information. Believe it or not, this does not come out of my brain or my beauty school degree.
Certainly didn't come from my education degree or my psychology degree.
Oh, you had a psychology degree.
Yeah.
Oh, well, shoot.
Well,
you
shoot.
should. Then everything you said is validated. I'm going to add you as my source.
No, do not, please.
Okay, my sources were the mayoclinic.org, betterhelp.com, catcut.com, and CORNELLCOLLEGE.EDU. Those will be in the show notes. Tia mentioned YouTube is a good source. I'll find some videos that, maybe 3 that are very specifically for living with or loving a narcissist. And if you guys have any stories you'd like to tell us, give us a call on our voice line about your experience. You may could help others. You can comment on our Facebook page. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. You can send us a private message. You can send us an email. All that information is on our website. We'd love to hear your experience and your advice for others, because we want to be a community here where we can help people. We want to entertain you, but we want to help you too. And maybe we've given you some tips today and made you discover that I am married to a narcissist, or maybe not. Maybe yeah, which would be good news.
And I just want to majored in education, minored in psychology.
Okay.
So just wanted to say that.
Okay.
Because I didn't want a grandiose.
Oh, there you go. See, she did it again. She's definitely not a NARS. All right, we love you guys. We're going to see you on Sunday for Giggles and Gratitude, and we'll be talking about things that have happened to us recently, and hopefully we'll
And of
listen
course,
to...
Mother's Day.
Yes, Mother's Day's coming up. And I guess that's all I have to say. What about you two? You have anything in conclusion as far as narcissism goes?
No,
I
think
think
you
you
covered that very, very well. You really
We did.
Okay. Hey, bye.
Echo, echo, echo.
We would love to hear from you.
Leave your questions or comments on our voicemail by visiting our website at denaandtia.com. Your message may be played on the show.
You can find our Instagram and Facebook links there too.
Again, that's denaandtia.com.
Thanks for listening.